Good evening, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Apologies for coming late. I thought we were working on Egyptian timing, so. To start off, I'd like to inform you actually of some of the things that Al Jazeera is currently going through and some of our journalists are currently going through. Tomorrow, one of our cameramen, Mohammed Badr, will stand trial, will be the first hearing in his trial. He's been imprisoned since a week after the Rabaa incidents, a week before, rather, the massacre at Rabaa. And one of the charges that he's been facing or he's presented with is having in his possession a camera. He's been given more than a dozen charges, and one of them is the fact that he had a camera in his possession. And that, I think, in itself is as dangerously amusing as it is, or as sadly amusing as it is a representation of just how things have changed in Egypt and how the current authorities who are ruling the country view anyone who is willing to document or report the crimes that are committed on the ground, how they are willing to deal with them in the harshest of ways. Muhammad is also joined by another Al Jazeera journalist who has been in jail since the day the attack happened. Abdullah Shami. Abdullah was Al Jazeera Arabic's reporter on the ground there, and he was one of those who was willing to cover, as we're taught, is through not only practicing journalism, but particularly, I believe, if you don't mind me saying, at Al Jazeera, to show all sides of everything. And one of the things that he did try and do throughout his coverage of the sit-in in Rabaa was to dispel all the myths or lies that Nadia was talking about that were propagated. So, for example, one of his reports, which I believe earned him the wrath of the military junta, was a report which whereby he took the camera and filmed underneath the stage. There was a lot of word that had gone around, particularly in the uncensored talk shows, and by uncensored I mean in every way, because they are an open talk shop for people to spout out whatever they want in Egypt without any form of accountability, where they claim that hundreds of dead bodies were being hidden under this stage. And other talk shows would claim that caches of weapons, and at one point even there was the idea that there was nuclear and chemical weapons that were being hidden under this stage. So he took the camera and filmed it there. The day the military ended up storming through the sit-in, bulldozing its way throughout, Abdullah managed to escape. He filmed a bit, managed to escape to the outskirts, and took a picture from outside with the smoke rising and tweeted it. It was the last tweet he sent. In the tweet, when he took the picture, he said he was going back in because he felt it was his duty to go back in and film and document what was taking place. Obviously, shortly after that, he was picked up. I think when we look at the events that took place, from my covering of the coup, and I went to Egypt to start the coverage of what we expected were going to be nationwide anti-government protests on the 30th of June. But as soon as I arrived in Cairo on the 26th of June, and by the 27th, after I had spoken to several people, it became pretty clear these weren't just going to be protests. There was going to be something more into it, and a lot of the bad omens that were coming out were pointing towards military intervention. But as Egyptians, you generally like to live in denial of everything, and a lot of people thought, well, no, this isn't going to happen in this way, or maybe something else would take place. That wasn't the case.